Hi, so I just wanted to come on and share 4 successful tips that you can use to survey your customers. Now, if you're in business, whether you're a small business or you're a large business, surveying customers is very important. It's so critical to understand how your customers feel about the product that you're providing to them or the service that you're providing to them. Now, the first tip is when you're writing the questions for your surveys, you need to really think about what kinds of questions you're asking and if the questions that you're asking are going to yield you the responses, the best responses that you would need in order to be able to manipulate this data and use it to improve on the quality of your experiences. So you would ask questions like, how was your overall experience versus what was the best part of your experience? That's just a simple example. You don't want your survey to be too long, so try to use questions that really pull out the meat of what it is that you're trying to get from your customers. The second tip is that you want to always segment the customers. Now, if you're an insurance company and you offer home insurance as well as automotive insurance, you would separate those two surveys because one set of customers' experiences may be better than another set of customers' experiences. And with the survey segmented and the feedback being segmented as well, it would give you a better understanding of what really needs to be improved. The third tip is that you need to look at how you're sending the survey. Now, if the survey is, let's say, again, you are providing automotive insurance and the customer has just come in to renew their insurance, if it's a short survey, maybe 3 to 5 questions, it can be in the form of a telephone where you call the customer within 24 hours of their experience. Why 24 hours? Because people tend to remember most of the experience within the first 24 to 48 hours. After that, bits and pieces of the experience falls out of their memory, and unless they had a really great experience or a very bad one, they kind of don't remember all the details. So for all intents and purposes, ensure that that survey is completed within the first 24 to 48 hours. You can send the survey via, conduct the survey via telephone. You can do it through your newsletters, or if it's more of an extended survey that requires a lot of open-ended responses and more details, that kind of survey should definitely be sent via email, giving the customer time so that they can choose to complete it at their own convenience. So there are a couple of options that you can use for sending survey depending on what your strategies and what you're really trying to get, what kind of information you're trying to collect. The fourth success tip on surveying your customers is analyzing the results. So many times we do surveys for customers and we do the report and we go in and we meet with their senior management team, but nothing actually comes out of it because eventually that report gets parked on a shelf somewhere in somebody's drawer. Customers want to know that if they're taking time, whether by phone or by email, to give you their feedback on what they think needs to be improved, that something is actually going to be done. So you need to take the good, the bad, and the in-between. If it's great and there's nothing to be changed, then you want to maintain consistency on that. So stay in that experience and try to maybe even make it better. If it's in between, it means that there's room for improvement. Are there any suggestions that the customers have made? Look into those suggestions and try to implement them in the business. And if it's bad, to the point where they're thinking of defecting from your business and going to your competitor, then at that point you really need to take some urgent and immediate action in terms of what suggestions have been made, or do a further survey to find out what can be implemented. Surveys are very important. The types of customers that you're dealing with nowadays, they do extensive research before they actually buy a product or a service. When you look at Amazon, before you buy a product or a service, you can read, tons, hundreds of reviews. And those reviews give you an indication of whether or not this book or this item that you're buying, this product that you're buying, is actually a quality product. I personally, before I started podcasting, did extensive research on the type of microphone that I was going to use. I went into podcast groups on Facebook. I asked questions. I looked on Amazon. I looked at the reviews. I looked at video reviews to show, how it is that this microphone worked versus another microphone, until eventually I settled on the type of product that I wanted to buy. So because customers have so much access to information nowadays, the reviews are critical. It's important for you to get feedback on your own product and service. See what your customers are saying about it and try to actually take action. Just don't do the survey and then don't actually do anything with the information, because that's just silly. Really, right? I'm telling you, it's silly. And you're wasting money to contract a market research company, or if you're doing it internally, you're wasting resources and time. If the data you're collecting, you're not actually taking action on what needs to be improved upon. So I encourage you to look at these 4 success tips. As I said before, the first is look at how you're writing the questions. The quality of the question that you ask determines the quality of the response that you get back. Segment your customers if it is that you have more than one product type, so that you can get a better understanding of what really needs to be improved. Ensure that you look at how you're sending the survey. What method are you using? As I said, if it's by telephone. If it's based on a recent experience that they've had, it's just 3 to 5 questions. Telephone is fine. If it's more detailed, you need to look at an email, or you can send through your newsletter. And of course, you can even ask if this medium is satisfactory for the client. What kind of surveying is more suitable for you? Which one would you think would be more responsive? Because their feedback is important. And if the medium that you're using is not yielding you the results, then you need to change up your strategy and find something that will yield you the results. And then finally, analyzing the results and taking action. I think that of all the tips that I've given you so far, number 4 is by far the most important, because again, it makes no sense you invest this money or the resources or the time to collect information that you're not actually going to use. And of course, when you make the changes, inform the customers that, listen, we've heard what you've said and we've taken action by doing X, Y, and Z. It makes a difference, it makes them feel important, and it builds loyalty to your brand. So if you really want to continue to improve upon your brand experience and your customer experience, the quality of the surveys and the feedback that you send out is critical, and taking action. So I hope that these 4 tips have really left an indelible mark in terms of how you're going to look at surveying your customers, and I wish you all the best in that approach. If you want more information, or you'd like us to do the surveys for your company, and you would like to connect with us even more, head on over to our website, www.yaniquegrant.com. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of Tuesday.